What's up, Sooner Nation? Happy Sunday. Welcome back to the Sooner Surge. If you are not subscribed, go ahead and go to our YouTube channel, click subscribe, turn on your notifications, tell us how we're doing here at the Sooner Surge. We appreciate you very much. Let's get started, Jay. Dillon Gabriel, 8 TDs, matching his uniform number, and Jeff Lebby called a nearly perfect game last night as the Sooners romp West Virginia 59-20. I think we have to ask the question that a lot of Sooner fans are asking, Jay, and the question is, where has this been the last few weeks? What changed from last Saturday to this Saturday?
I think there's a lot of things that change. And I mean, a lot of people will question Jeff Lebby and say he called a better game. Yes, it was a better called game. But at the same time, I think a lot of the things in the OSU game could be, you can say that it was penalties, it was bad snaps, it was turnovers. Listen, any team that does that, the chances of having a good offensive performance are slim and none. And they came at really bad times. I will say this to me, the play calling was great last night, but the thing I was more impressed with by Jeff Lebby was the personnel decisions. They went with one running back for the most part, and he got in a rhythm. 135 yards, I think, on the ground for Gavin Sawchuk on 22 carries, if I believe. And he got in a rhythm. You didn't have to worry about. I mean, listen, when you're bringing guys in and they're not playing a whole lot, the chances of fumbling and turning the ball over may be more, possible. So I thought that was great by Lebby. I thought the use of Austin Stogner was unbelievable last night, and I do think Stogner's been open for a few weeks. Just watching, I think he's been open, but I will say they used him in a little different way down the middle of the field. I thought that was great. So overall, just a great offensive performance by Lebby, and Dillon Gabriel played his butt off. But listen, what's crazy is 8 TD passes, 430 something yards, whatever it is.
Eight
And
TDs total, not
eight,
passes. Yeah.
well, 8 TDs, 430 yards in the air, and he left some stuff out there.
He could have thrown.
That's what's
He
crazy.
he could have thrown for over 500. I think his total was 473. Jay, I may
No,
be
that was
wrong on that.
all
All
473 was
purpose.
all around, all purpose.
All purpose. And two things stood out to me when you're talking about Gabriel and Lebby. Gabriel was elite last night. Uh, what really, what I noticed as far as biggest difference, there were less wide receiver screens last night. Okay, there are less called wide receiver screens. Dillon Gabriel scanned the field better, stayed in the pocket more. And the other thing is, Dillon Gabriel used his legs, which is what he was doing so well early on in this year. So I don't know what changed uh, as far as attack mode from last Saturday. Did they sit down and say, look, you got to use your legs more? Is that a conversation that was had about using the tight end more? Did they just look at some film over the last 3 weeks? I don't know. It'd be interesting to hear from DG and Lebby on that note, but call it whatever changes happen. They need to continue because last night's offense was night and day difference in the 3 weeks previously.
Yeah, I don't think there's many people calling for Jeff Lebby to be fired after this week. And listen, his scheme, when ran well, looks really good and unstoppable. We've seen it for 2 years. They have games and they have halves that you're like, wow, this offense is unbelievable. And then they have halves where you're like, what the heck happened? And don't forget, yesterday they did all that without Tyler Guyton, their best offensive lineman. Tyler Guyton going to be top 10, top 15 pick probably after it's all said and done. And they did that without him. Sexton played great. Offensive line played really well. But the whole running game for DG was interesting because it was his mindset. I think that's the difference between that and OSU. I didn't see that type of mindset from DG against OSU. There's plenty of times where he could have taken off or maybe pulled the ball. He had a couple last night where he held that ball in there for a little bit, pulled it and went around the end. Huge gains. So maybe it is something they saw and felt like, hey, got to be better in this part of the game. And they were. They were better in the tight end game. They were better in that. And listen, also, Jaden Gibson got a tutty. Gibson got in there and made a big play. Love to see that.
Yeah. Well, you bring up Gibson really across the board. DG spread the ball around a lot better. He was spraying it around the yard everywhere, which is what he was doing early on this season against, some of those nobodies, but still 8 or 9 guys were catching balls. I'd have to go to the stats to look, but I'm pretty sure six to eight caught passes last night.
Hey, I got a question for you, Jeremy. Could it all be the way the offense has been like this? Could it be that Jeff Lebby's only in the second year as being a true OC,
I mean,
and
that's possible.
he's learning
That
on the job, right?
that's a possibility, but honestly, I think what it is they realize that they've missed opportunities down the middle of the field. That you've got to scan the middle, the outside. OU's thrown to the outside a lot this year. The outside slants, and then they also throw wide receiver screens. They have not thrown a lot of crossing patterns across the middle of the field. They seemed to do that all night last night. Sit in the pocket, look to the second one, and it was open. And here's the thing. Here's the crazy thing about this, Jay. It wasn't just open, it was really open. These receivers, the question I think was raised for from a lot of Sooner fans is, can these receivers get open? Are they that talented? But this West Virginia defense was better than the last three defenses, and OU exposed it in a big way.
Yeah, and I think that's the shocking thing is when you asked earlier, where's it been? You know, you're playing the likes of Kansas and OSU. You got to be better offensively than they weren't. And listen, turnovers make a big difference in games. And OU against Kansas had 5 turnovers. You're not going to win many games at all. I don't care who you're playing doing that. So, but we got to give props where props are due, guys. And viewers, I know a lot of us were harsh on the offense, and it's fair. They've been bad. They've been bad the last 2 weeks. You can be harsh. But you got to give props where it's due. They were great last night. And what they did from OSU week to this week with either film study or figured some stuff out offensively. And if they can build on that and improve for the rest of the year, I think going to the SEC with Jackson Arnold as a quarterback, because, guys, I know a lot of people have been down on Lebby, but if this offense is ran the way it's supposed to be ran, Jackson Arnold and some of these running backs should put up massive numbers because the scheme is good if it's all working together. The problem is that when they're not cohesive, it looks terrible.
Yeah, and you said it best. Sooner fans, kudos and credit to DG for an elite performance. 8 TDs, first QB with 8 TDs since 2000. Just a historic night at Palace on the Prairie. Jeff Lebby was great, like we said. I know you're wondering why has Stoops not been mentioned? That's because we're going to drop another video on the greatness of Drake Stoops and what OU has in this guy and the legacy he's going to leave. So make sure you are subscribed to the Sooner Surge, our YouTube channel. Yeah, we're going to drop that. We're also, I know a lot of you guys are wondering about the tiebreaker scenarios involving OU. We will drop a video that has all the possibilities for the Sooners to get to Arlington. So, with that being said, make sure you are subscribed to our channel and that you've turned on the notification so you're notified when we drop more content. But Jeff Lebby, DG, excellent performance. Sooners won going away. Till next time, Boomer.
Sooner.